Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on where in the world you're tuning in from. It is amazing to see all of your happy, smiling faces this morning. All of the chat going on. We're tuning in a couple seconds early. I got some cool stuff to share with you today. So if you saw the email this morning, you know there's some amazing things going on in the world of business and in marketing. A lot of people are freaking out what all this technology means. For me, as usual, I'm pretty excited because there's an opportunity for you if you're willing to sort of carpe diem, seize the day, capitalize on these opportunities, know about them, and really set yourself apart from the competition and the sea of the people around you who are scrambling to figure out what all of this means. So we're going to talk about all of that. Happy to answer questions on anything and all things business, marketing, advertising, branding, copywriting, whatever else we can think of. Also, I finally managed to get this thing set up. We hooked up the iPad and it was about time. So funny story, before when I was hooking up the iPad into the computer, it would make this like gnarly buzzing sound, like this horrible sound, like feedback if you put a guitar too close to an amp or two microphones too close together, two walkie-talkies, things like that. It was just this horrific sound, but it appears to have stopped. That said, if it goes again, we're going to turn that off, but it might give me an opportunity to sort of sketch out some things. I know there've been some really good questions in the past where I really wanted a visual diagram and I was forced to do some sort of variation of interpretive dance to try to explain it, which isn't good for anybody. So let's go. Let's grow. Hello, Adam. Love from India. Hello, my friend. Love from the office and from wherever else we are. We're going to talk more about your question. I'm going to circle back to it because I think it's a good one. Kevin, my man. Dude, I don't know if you've missed one. I'm going to have to send you, I don't have t-shirts, but I should get a t-shirt and send you one just so we can start wearing them for these live sessions. I'm going to get a t-shirt. That's a good idea for these live sessions. But anyways, it is amazing to see you here. Shaq Lawi, good evening, everyone. Good evening where you are there, my friend. Let's see. Let's grow. Yes. Part of market here. Hang on one sec. Let me see if I can resize these things. I should move me over. I keep trying to find like really good spots to put this, but I think this is probably the best one because the way that I've got the screen angled makes it look like I'm looking at it. So, here, learning how to answer questions. Good. How to be passionate, energetic, and honest with the audience. Yes. Very, very important. Honesty is the most important as far as passion and energy. Some of that comes down to personality. A lot of it just comes down to the subject material that you're talking about. Hang on. Chair adjustment. See? There we go. Still battling this horrific pinched nerve in my neck. So you're going to be seeing me do some funky stretches as we go through this thing, trying to like alleviate some of the pain. But yes, feel free to steal my energy. All of it is yours. There's too much. Dragonbot Southwest, I assume. Good morning, y'all. Jasmine, good morning from Los Angeles, our city of angels. How's it doing down there? It's got to be better than it is here. It's really cold here right now. I'm not loving it. I'll be honest with you. All right, Latricia, good morning. Hello from East Texas. Hello, Latricia. Good to see you. Glad you could make it here. All right, Raheem. Hello, Adam. After a long time. No kidding. It is good to see you back. Gotta show up. Gotta remind me. Good to see you here, my friend. Mohammed Hamza, hello, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you, too. Salam alaikum. Corporal Diesel, hey, from Central Texas. Hey, Corporal Diesel. Good to see you back. I remember from last week. All right. And Victor, hello from Belgium. Bonjour, mon ami. Comment ça va? Good to see you here. All right. Shall we go? Let's go. Let's find some questions here. So, also, if you want to say hi as we go, please feel free. It helps me get a bit of a breather in between some of the questions as well. All right, start the weird stretching to get rid of the pain, and let's answer some questions. So we engineer, I'll move this way, turnkey automated work cells, robots, for manufacturing companies in Canada, we'll assume. We are interested in doing this niche work across the country and in the US. To what extent should we make? All right, so let me see if I fully understand this. Essentially, you're making robots for manufacturing companies in Canada. You want to work with companies in the States. The same advice that I'm going to give here applies for basically anybody that's doing business in a local area and they could serve a larger area, which is that there's really nothing stopping you. Honestly, there's nothing stopping you aside from shipping, customs, import duties, taxes and tariffs, basic legal things that you're going to have to be aware of. There's no reason that you can't serve companies in the U.S. And in fact, if you're a Canadian-based company, you'd almost be crazy not to serve the U.S. because you're talking about a population base that's 10 times the size. The strategy is everything that you did in Canada, do in the States as well. The psychographics are very similar attitudes and lifestyles and beliefs and language, and like everything is just so similar that you shouldn't have a problem. My best advice is to pick the state that's going to be the most conducive for you doing business there. Do some due diligence on the top businesses that you think you would be able to do work for, and start your outreach there, forming those relationships. All right. Latricia. Adam, what are your recommendations for protecting privacy so we don't have strange people showing up in our yards? That's a good question. And it's funny because I've actually just been talking about this with a few other people. So, first of all, I think we don't need to be, let me hedge a little bit. I don't think we need to be as scared as like mass media makes it out to be. It's like the number of crazy people out there, they're there for sure, but they're relatively small. That said, there's an expression that I like, which is haters are a percentage. So we could use crazy people are a percentage. So in other words, if you've got 100 people following you and there's like one bad egg who like leaves mean comments, well, if you have 1,000 people, there's probably going to be 10. 100,000 people, we're talking about 100 or whatever. Maybe it's not. That's still a pretty high number. 1 million people, there's enough loonies out there that are up to no good. So yeah, you've got to be safe. Obviously, don't post your address. Don't post your place of wherever you are. Be aware of like when you're making content, showing like the front of your house or building or office or things like that. Like you can show content from around and out there. I don't think it's as big a concern as a lot of people have you out to believe. That said, yes, the larger you get, the more of a concern it is. It's the reason that I post like I'm in this area or this city, but not necessarily my address or anything like that. So good question. And then you could do what I do also, which is like, we live in a really safe place, in a safe neighborhood, in like a safe country, in a safe street, but it's like, we've still got it relatively fortified. It's more just for, I don't know, bears and cougars and things, but like there's gated property and alarms and cameras and things like that. It's way overkill for what we need, but safety first. Raheem, I wanted to ask, where should I run my clients' ads? Personal ad manager or business ad manager? Easy question. Business ad manager, always. Victor, we said hello. Perfect. Dennis, it seems people are slowing down in business due to the economy. What are your thoughts moving forward for 2023? How do you think marketing will be affected? Okay. So I have to say this carefully, cause it's a bit of a sensitive area. The whole pandemic Rona thing happened, right? A lot of businesses suffered horrifically. Catastrophically. They failed. And by no fault of their own, it was just the economy and shutdowns and all kinds of things. Some businesses did exceptionally well, specifically those in the online area. For example, with very little additional effort, my business, certain aspects of it doubled in those years. And it was, again, just because by the nature of the business, the nature of the industry, more people going online, more people looking for information on businesses and marketing and things like that. Like by no genius of my own, that's just the way that it happened. Warren Buffett talks about this a lot, saying that it's better to be in the right boat than, what's the other part of the quote? Doesn't matter. We'll just say the right boat. So essentially what he's saying is you want to be in the right industry, in the right vehicle that's moving forward. There's another expression that's like, you're better to be part of the wrong part of a good industry than the best part of a bad industry. For example, joining the newspaper industry right now would probably be a pretty dumb idea. If you're already in there, you can scrape by and pivot and do good things, but it's like, that's not an industry that I would be going into. That said, anything AI related, marketing related, business growth related, there's a lot of opportunities. So the economy is huge. So yeah, certain parts of it are definitely going to slow down. Certain parts never slow down. Luxury goods, affluent goods, staples, commodities. You just have to be selective of what you're going to focus on and where you're going to put your energy and efforts. Dwayne, South African greetings, my friend. You're going to have to teach me how to say good morning or hello in Afrikaans. I don't know how to say that. It's missing from my vocabulary. Hope you have a great start to the new year. Yes, so far so good. With the exception of this pain, we're just working through, but otherwise good. What do I think about a shorts-only YouTube channel and YouTube automation? Is HubSpot's Make My Persona tool worth it? So I like all things HubSpot. They're the reason that they're one of my main partners. I'm very selective, more so now than I've ever been, about partnerships and sponsors on the channel. I love HubSpot. I think they're great. I've not used that one personally, but I would dig into it. Depends on the cost and that, but like normally everything they've done has been really good. So shorts only channel, I like it, but I like it as a stepping stone to get into long form content later. If the choice is shorts only or nothing, shorts only, 10-1, just do it. If the choice is shorts only and then I'll probably add long form content later, like that's just such a slam dunk. That's basically where I'm pushing everybody right now. It's just a really good strategy, and they seem to be dominating long form content better than other people. So I like that. As far as YouTube automation channels, maybe some of you have seen this. They seem to be all the rage these days. Faceless YouTube automation channels. Basically, get software like ChatGPT to write you a script, hire a voiceover actor, get a video editor to make a bunch of B-roll and put out a video. Here's my thoughts on that. That to me is arbitrage, where you're basically buying something cheap, selling it for more expensive. It's much like drop shipping, which is not my preferred business model. And the reason is because there is no significant competitive advantage. We've seen this with YouTube automation channels. I personally don't own any, not that I'm against them, but every time I think about starting one, I find another and it pops up and it pops up. And the second that someone's good, another one just comes up. And unless I inject my own personality and style, there's no real benefit to doing it, which actually leads me to this one. I feel like almost everything is on YouTube and available for free, and I get the feeling like, why will anyone see a non-professional video? So you, my friend, are suffering from the most common affliction of all entrepreneurs and content creators, which is imposter syndrome. There's enough materials on this that we don't need to dive into it too deep. Do a bit of research and you'll learn more than you ever wanted to know. Very common, very common. And if you don't experience it, this is a bad sign. It's the opposite is called Dunning-Kruger effect, and we don't want to go there. So imposter syndrome is where you feel like you're not good enough, you don't know enough, why me, etc., etc. Healthy concerns to have because they're going to push you to create better content. But the kickback really is like, why not you? Also, your content is going to be a reflection of all of your skills, your experience, and your personality. It's interesting to me how all it takes sometimes is like one thing, one story, one anecdote, one experience from a certain kind of person that can change everything for someone. Which means that if you keep this to yourself, there's going to be someone that's been in a similar situation to you, that's gone through what you're going through, and they're going to be missing you, right? So when I first started making YouTube videos 5-6 years ago, give or take, those were exactly my thoughts. There was already a lot of business stuff on YouTube. Why me? My first videos weren't very good. They were blurry, out of focus. I was sweating like crazy because I was so nervous. But we just sort of kept with it. And now, however many years later, I can't even begin to tell you how that's impacted my life and business in a positive way. So yeah, please do it. Good morning, all. Perfect. Okay, let me scroll back to where we were. Dragonbot. Content for a wider audience about automation and manufacturing, like you do about marketing. Videos for only CEOs tend not to gain as many views. Yeah, good question. Here's the question back for you. Do you want views or do you want clients? Two different things. One video will probably not do both. So you got to make a decision. If you look back at the early of my videos, they were almost all focused on getting clients for agency initially, then for consulting and coaching, then for programs. But over time, as I no longer offered most of those services, the content changed to, all right, well, how do we get views? How do we get YouTube to promote it and to suggest it? And it's often very different content with a very different style and attitude and tone and hook and presentation and all of the things that go into it. So you've got to make a decision. Do you want views or do you want clients? Not saying you can't do both, but they typically, one is going to be a byproduct rather than the focus. All right. I'm clicking all the same ones now. Hang on. Let me scroll back down. All right, Teresa. Good morning. Good morning, Teresa. Good to see you here. Digital Vivian. Hey, Adam. I was working as a WordPress developer for an agency. I have experience in web designing, but no one knows me in the industry. That's why I have no client. Please suggest a roadmap. Okay, so you're working as a developer. You have experience in web design, but no one knows you. Yeah. So, simple but not easy. You, Vivian, need to build a personal brand. Nobody can buy from you if they don't know you exist. So that part is absolutely correct. There we go. I'm going to put that up so I can stop hunching over. Nobody can buy from you if they don't know you exist. So you've got to get out there. You've got to start making content. You need a portfolio. You need to start doing outreach, tap into friends, family, network, not necessarily so they're going to hire you to build a website, but they'll at least be aware. So an email that I would probably draft is like, hey, friend, use their name. Hey, Steve. Hey, Vivian. As you may know, I've recently started my own freelance web design business and I'm currently looking for clients. If you happen to know anybody that owns a business, has a business, wants to start a business, and is looking for a website, please pass on my name and recommendation. Here's a link to my website, of which you need one, and a link to my portfolio, of which you need one. That should help get you started. Once you got one, you can ask for referrals. You can build them from there. All right, next up, Black Girls Consult 2. Good to see you here. What do you feel is the best way to generate new leads? Organic versus ads? Short and sweet lead magnet versus something of higher quality? Course, webinar, book? This is a really good question. I like this one. I don't have hang on, do I have my dancing bear? Oh, I do. Oh, it's still there. Fantastic. This is a dancing bear question. So, the best way to generate leads. Depends. Oh, hang on. It's just going to keep going. Oh, there we go. We stopped it. The best way to generate leads is dependent on the client and the business and the industry as well as the budget. So the fastest way to generate leads by far is with advertising. Google ads, Facebook ads. Those are my preferences. Google ads, if it's search-based, Facebook ads for basically everything else. I like to run Facebook ads and Google ads actually through this one. Not sponsored. Yes, affiliate. 30-day free extended trial. I run basically all of my, I run all of my lead gen through this. And the reason that I do is because the lead gen is half the equation. The follow-up is the other half of the equation. I'm actually working on a video right now that outlines all of the aspects that go into the Facebook ad as well as the follow-up funnel. So that is the most important part. As far as organic versus ads allow you to scale up or scale down. You have full control. Organic is a little more, subject to the algorithms and to what goes on. In the early days, I'm pretty much all for ads. I like organic and I like doing that longer term, but in the early days, it simply doesn't make sense. For example, right now with this, I wonder if I can pull it up. Do I have it here? I do. We're gonna have all these things. Let me close some things down. Right now, this is my main lead magnet. This one is short and sweet. I found that it performs better for me versus the longer form ones, but that's because the purpose of a short form lead magnet is to bring someone into your world. The purpose of a long form lead magnet is to establish trust and likability and authority and things like that. For me, that's where all of that happens on YouTube. So it doesn't really make sense to have a separate webinar or long form lead magnet. Now, as far as ads versus organic, this guy right here is generating upwards of 100 leads a day organically. So it doesn't make sense, or I don't necessarily need to or want to run ads for it, because if we're looking at, like, say, a digital marketing lead at, I don't know, $3, $4, $5, that would cost me $500 a day in ads, whereas I can just run organic traffic to it based on all of the content, and we get those for free. So hopefully that answers your question. It's a really good one. I quite like it. All right. Robert, I'm in the middle of creating an SMMA, social media marketing agency. For those not familiar, would you recommend me to start off with a media buyer? I'd recommend finding out what your clients want and then delivering that. Also, take a look at the services that you want to offer first. I'm a huge fan of doing lead gen, media buying, for SMMA. And the reason is because you're able to get immediate results for a client. Whereas if you're doing, say, content creation, posting on social media, like, you're going to be showing them a lot of floofy, fluffy, airy reports. I'm like, look at all the likes you got. Look at all the engagement, all the comments. And they're going to be like, cool, where's the money, man? So that's where leads come in. But again, half the equation is the leads. The other half is the actual conversion of the lead. Again, that's kind of why I like using this software, is I'll generate the lead through a Facebook ad, through a Google ad. I'll run it through High Level. I'll do an SMS follow-up campaign. Business owners love this. And like, obviously, the best feedback and referrals and testimonials I've ever got was when I switched to starting to do this and running ads that led directly to text message conversations. Because what ends up happening is the business owner has their phone, you're running leads for them, and all of a sudden their phone rings or pings or dings with a message with someone saying, hey, I'd like to buy stuff from you. And it blows their mind, as it should. It's kind of like a version of witchcraft, of voodoo, just being able to generate business on demand. But that's what gets you paid the big bucks. Steve, good evening. Evening, Steve. Good to see you. How's your pain out of 10? Yeah. It's up there, man. It's like a 7, sometimes 8. Not great, but we're getting there. I went to the doc as well, so I've been seeing the physiotherapist, massage therapist, doctors, and I'm looking at this thing for another like 2, 4, 8, 6, 12 weeks. Like it's so I'm finding ways to deal with it. A lot of stretching, a lot of movements. But I appreciate the question. All right, Kazu, good morning from Tokyo, Japan. Good morning, Kazu. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Jonathan, good evening from Indonesia. Awesome. Good to see you, Jonathan. Glad you could make it. Natasha, good morning. There we go. Good morning from Haiku, Maui. Oh, amazing. A little bit jealous right now. A little bit jealous, but that's amazing. Good for you. Success Journal of a Broke Something. I have a few Instagram marketing clients, but at the end of the month, they ask me what I've done for them this month, and I show them Instagram, their account growth chart, but they don't care. Yes. Okay. So it sounds like what you need to do is basically, especially when it comes to things like marketing, which is very ethereal. It's like, I'm doing marketing. It's like, yeah, they don't know what that means. So you're going to have to show them, and you're going to have to be very overt and literal about what you're doing. My recommendation is probably stop with the monthly reports and start weekly reporting. You could almost over communicate to them to the point that they start to be like, that's enough. Okay, we get it. But what I would do is every week I'd be like, these are the posts that I made. These are the results that happened from the post. This is the growth that you're experiencing. This is the feedback, the interaction, the engagement. Here's the latest study on Instagram growth that I've referenced in order to do this. Here's an article that says that we need to start posting more reels. So we're going to incorporate that. Basically, you need to over communicate what you're doing. I think that's true with anybody that has an agency. You will not go wrong by over communicating what you do. I used to use a number of different pieces of software to create graphs and charts and reports. Now, I feel like this is just a sales pitch for High Level. None of this is. Again, not sponsored. But legitimately, this is sort of what I do now because it compiles all of my data for them, so I can just send them essentially what I'm doing, and it makes it a whole lot easier. They don't know what you're doing if you don't tell them. And even if you do tell them, they don't understand. So you have to over communicate. And then they'll stay forever. Knock on wood. Janelle, hey, my man. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. That's awesome. Kelly Logan Hair. Hey, Adam, I have an e-commerce hair care business. What would you offer as a solution from a marketing standpoint to customers only purchasing when I run a sale? Thank you, as always, for your advice. So first of all, my pleasure. Thank you for being here and for a good question. So Kelly, you have, you've got to do a little bit more due diligence on your audience and more so in your competitors. And you have to figure out one of two things. Number one is this an audience that is used to only buying during sales, promotions, discounts? Because if so, and that's the nature of the beast, then that's it. It's the same reason JCPenney is like the classic example where like that store was always on a discount and it was always like 50% off and people loved it because they went for a deal. And the new CEO came in and he was all like, hey, instead of doing 50% off, let's just make all our prices low. And then we don't need to run all these sales. And their revenue just like fell through the floor because people expected and wanted and were trained to look for that 50% off. So that's when they bought. Price was less of an issue than the fact that there was a discount. So you've got to think, is that the way that happens? In which case you may have to bake in like a permanent discount strategy where you, I don't want to say overinflate your prices, but you have your maximum retail price and then you discount it to whatever is competitive. The other option is if they're only buying during a sale or promotion, it could be because that's the only time you're really promoting it heavily, which shows that there's other opportunities for marketing, or that is what's making the offer irresistible. But is there other things we could do or other value adds we could offer as well? Training, calls, other products, samples, free shipping, etc., etc. So there's a lot of ways to sweeten the pot beyond just discounts. Whew, I'm on a roll. Mart, dobre rano. Hey, my friend, good to see you from Piešťany, Slovakia. Your bad marketing advice song is perfect. Oh, that's amazing. I don't remember that one. I think, I might now. The problem is I record the videos and write the songs and then they come out like a week or two later. And depends on how many were in the pipe. But yes, I remember that one. That was the rap one, I think, when it's raining outside in that. Any more good videos to watch? Yeah, so actually I just sent out an email. I'm not sure if you saw it, Mart. It went out this morning with a link to this live. That highlights 3 of the latest ones that I've released. In my opinion, they're some of the more important ones, especially for setting yourself up for the rest of 2023. The other 2 that I'd recommend are, I think it's like 7 proven marketing tips and strategies, and then also 10 proven marketing strategies. So 7 and 10, if you look for those, you'll also find them under like most viewed or most popular. Those are packed. They're like an hour. If you put them together, I think it's half an hour and half an hour. So it's like an hour masterclass in marketing. Elizabeth, hello from Utah. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to see you here. Greg from Kansas. Morning, Greg. Good to see you, my friend. Craig. We got Greg. Now we got Craig. Hey, Adam, what's your advice for getting constant free traffic to your website, not using social media? I'll tell you, but the question is wrong. To me, I don't mind paying for traffic if it's constant and if I'm able to get an ROI from it. So I like it, but we've got to be careful the way that we phrase it because it's already setting us up for failure. It's like the way that we want to think about marketing is we put in $1, we get $2 back out. If we're always looking for free, it may not be the best. Now, in regards to free, nothing's free because it's going to cost you time or money. That said, if we're not talking about ads and we're not talking about social media, your options, as far as consistent free traffic, it's going to depend on search volume, but it's going to be SEO. Period. Full stop. It's like the most consistent, reliable, best way to get consistent enough traffic to your website is going to be by search engine optimizing your website, your Google business page, whatever it is. Nothing else to say on that one. I guess the only other thing that would make it inconsistent is if there's fluctuations in search volume depending on days of the week or weeks of the month or months of the year. The Digital Habib, good day from Nigeria. Hey, Habib, good to see you. All right, Kazu, my friend. That is a trippy picture. I think I finally just realized what that was. I always thought it was a bit of a flower, but it looks like the camera is taking a picture up at you, and there's some weird dome thing going on. Very cool. Question about email marketing. Awesome. How long should I nurture the leads? Is there a limit to the number of messages I can send through ConvertKit's automation feature? Okay, so there is no limit into like how many emails you can send. I know people that have sent hundreds and hundreds automated. Just set them all up and let them go. How long should you nurture leads? You should nurture, this is a terrible answer. I'll give you a better one in a minute. But honestly, you should nurture them for as long as it takes. We're going to dive into that one because this is a really important question. Two things. First of all, when someone joins your email list for the very first time, they're in a position to want to get a solution to their problem, which means that I would be offering them a solution sooner than later rather than just nurturing them forever. So for example, neck pain. Someone's got neck pain. They're like, hey, download my free neck pain guide. They're like, awesome, I got neck pain. I want to solve my neck pain thing. Give me your neck pain guide. So they get their guide. And then you're like, awesome. Now let me nurture you for 6 months. I'm not going to offer. I was like, no, dude, I got neck pain. Do you have anything I can buy? Like a consultation, a pill, a acupressure thingy? Like, give me something to buy. I gotta fix this thing. So that's why I'm not an overly big fan of like nurturing forever before offering the solution that you have. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be like, hey, you bought my lead magnet. Or you got my lead magnet. That's garbage. You don't want that. Buy this thing. It's way better and it's lots of money. I don't think you need to do that. You can be tasteful about it, but you do need to offer a solution. So, how long does it take to buy? Depends on the price point of the thing that you're selling. Depends on the market that you're selling. Most people, however, are not going to buy immediately. They're going to buy 30 days or longer, sometimes 4 months or longer. In fact, most of the sales happen between months like 4 and 18. So the longer that you can keep them and nurture them and build a relationship, the better you're going to do. I have no doubt in my mind that the reason that I've managed to be as successful as I have is because there's been a long-term, multi-year long commitment to creating as much free content as I possibly humanly can. Knowing full well the laws of the universe or karma or marketing or whatever you want to call it is going to come back. It always does. The more people you can help, the more you will be rewarded in return. Corporal Diesel, thanks for your help last week. My pleasure, my friend. I showed it to my wife and she really liked it for her business, marketing, mental health. Okay, that's excellent. Good. Keep me posted. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if any other questions come up. And best of luck with that. Good for you for taking action and for doing stuff. Caden, morning, my friend. Dennis, you deserve 1 million followers and more. Well, I appreciate the kind words. We will get there one day, slow and steady, but we'll get there. Kazu, what do you find more challenging, running a low-budget marketing campaign or flying a plane? Yeah, that's awesome. Easily running a low-budget marketing campaign is more challenging. Flying a plane, it's kind of like driving a car. Once you know how, you can fly. Anybody can learn. Good question. Funny question. That said, since I stopped flying, I have not flown a plane since. So I stopped flying over 10 years ago. I used to be a professional pilot, flew business jets for people all around the world. stopped because I didn't like being gone. I liked being home. I'm kind of a homebody, and literally have not flown since, and really don't miss it. You know what I miss though is landing the plane, like actually operating the plane in sketchy weather and putting it down on the runway and doing the best you can. I like that part, but otherwise, marketing for the win. Carlo, hey my friend, good software for paid ads. So it depends what you mean by, or it depends on what you want the software to do for the paid ads. My preference with all paid ads actually is to run them directly natively through the ad platform. So when I run Facebook ads, I run them inside Facebook Ads Manager. When I run TikTok ads, I run them through the TikTok Ads Manager. When I run Google ads, I run them through the Google Ads Manager. I don't really use a whole lot of software other than a little bit of high level for tracking. Again, I'll pull that up. And to like mostly around say Facebook and Google and to track conversations and things like that. But otherwise, I run them all natively inside the app. I find I get better results and have more control over it. Victor Dublau. Hello, I'm 16-year-old trying to make a startup work. I have a lot of trouble finding the right words for flyers, social media posts, etc. Okay, so first of all, good for you. That's amazing. And by starting now, you're gonna you're so well positioned. This is awesome. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's when we're talking about marketing and copywriting, there's all these different pieces. And we kind of learn them all in different silos. And then these connections start to be formed between them. And we start to be like, oh, hey, that would work over here. And that would work over here. And which is what creativity is all about. So good for you for even taking this step. But if you're having trouble with the words, then the answer, my friend, is copywriting. That's really it. So I would be looking at essentially all of the best copywriting books I could find. I'd go to Amazon, buy the hard copy, buy the Kindle, whatever you like, and really start studying copywriting. Look at guys like Dan Kennedy. Actually, I would just start with Dan Kennedy. Look at Dan Kennedy on copywriting. And then if you want to go further, you could start looking at the older ones, Robert Collier, Claude Hopkins, Eugene Schwartz. I pretty much love everything that he has. Gary Halbert, David Ogilvy. All these guys wrote copy in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s back prior to social media, and all of that is basically directly applicable to social media. Amy, you talk about go high level, yeah, for follow-up sequences, but can you share what else you find it to be great for by way of features? You seem to shy away from their website by example. Other features do you actually use? Yeah, good question. I focus like 99% on the follow-up features. So yeah, there's a ton of other stuff. There's funnels and a CRM and scheduling and tracking and all the other things that go into it. I use there's website hosting now. I guess I do use that still. I just love the follow-up. Like for me, all of the money that I'm able to make is like talk about 80-20 Pareto's principle. For 20% of my effort, I get 80% of the return. So I use 20% of the things. So yeah, that's it. I mean, we could talk more about it. I use a little bit, but nothing close to what I do the other one. Turf Nerd Lawn Care. I love that name. Hey, Adam, I appreciate all the valuable information you share. Well, thank you, my friend, for the kind words. I appreciate your amazing name. That is fantastic. Yusuf, good morning. Adam, good morning, Yusuf. Good to see you. Alfie, hang on one sec. Cough and water break. All right, I'm reasonably experienced in email marketing, creating email sequences, sales emails, and Facebook ads. Is there any other major services I should learn to sell to clients? So, two parts to this question, or two parts to this answer. The first part is you can do, there's a million other things you could do, right? Like from funnels to content writing and other forms like scripts and podcasts. There's conversion tracking. There's like literal unlimited supply. But that's not what you should do. What you should do is have a chat with your clients, and you should start to be like, hey, what else do you need help with? What else are you struggling with? Or you could do an audit on all of their marketing and their campaigns and be like, hey, we're sending these email marketing and it's working really well, but we're driving them to a landing page that isn't converting really well. Why don't we optimize it? Why don't we increase the cart abandonment sequence? Or why don't we offer retargeting ads, not just through Facebook, but maybe now Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is. So talk to them. They hold the keys to your next level of profitability. If they don't tell you, just do what you want though. Honestly. They probably need everything. In my experience with businesses and business owners, if you come across a service and they already trust you and you're like, look, I think you also need this, they will just trust you until it doesn't work anymore. So just make it work. Caden, Adam, what are your thoughts on Google Ads and what is your favorite Google Ads channel on YouTube? So I don't have a favorite Google Ads channel on YouTube. My thoughts on Google Ads is that for the right business, they're amazing. That's it. Like if I'm looking at advertising for a business, I'm looking at two more than any others, and it's Google Ads and Facebook ads. I'll look at TikTok ads and YouTube ads and Pinterest ads and Twitter ads and LinkedIn ads, probably never, but like we'll look at all those as well. But we're always starting with Google Ads and Facebook ads. Google Ads if it's a search-based business and there's a lot of search volume. Facebook ads for basically everything else. I like them because of their intuitive ease of use, their ease of setup, their ease of entry. A little harder to optimize if you're starting to serve a national or international audience. But otherwise, fantastic tool. All right. Carlo, it sounds like you're putting me on like a talk show or like a quiz show. It's like list 3 good softwares, one for SEO, one for ads. Let me see. Software for SEO, managing ads, one for social media posting, scheduling. What do I have all linked up? I'm going to post these after. The reason is because it changes a bunch. So for SEO, I do like SEMrush and I like Ahrefs. I also like Moz and Majestic. So there's 4. One for managing ads. I've answered that one. I don't like it particularly. I'll use High Level to track my Google and my Facebook stuff, but otherwise I do everything natively. Social media posting, scheduling, I'll use High Level as well for it. Okay. Funny question. Bruce, hello from Denver. Good to see you, Bruce. Glad you could make it here, my friend. Teresa, do you think all niches should be posting to TikTok? Nope, but we'll talk about that in a second. Maybe only ads there for their exposure? Probably. Doesn't seem to fit every business, in my opinion. You'd be correct, but here's the caveat. It's less about the niche, less about the business, and it's more about the avatar of the business, the ideal customer avatar, the target market, the audience, the people that you seek to serve. Are they present and active on TikTok? If so, then yeah, TikTok for the win. If they're not, then yeah, probably can avoid it. That said, my preference still is like you want to pick that one primary pillar platform that you're going to focus most of your time and money and energy on. Dominate that one first, and then we can look at other platforms. Sometimes it's TikTok, for sure. However, I would argue that YouTube Shorts is going to provide significantly better results, and the opportunity to learn and to master and to like go down that rabbit hole right now is just, it's really good. It's kind of like when Facebook ads first came on the scene. And the reach there was unbelievable for the price. Same thing when LinkedIn was like sort of booming organically. We were able to get just crazy amounts of reach for that. Same with the early days of Twitter. That's one of the first platforms that I did my best at, I guess, was Twitter back a decade ago. And built up a big following there, and then it like just tapered. Basically, I'm never there anymore. So yeah. Totally depends on the market, but I don't think you have to be on TikTok. For example, I'm not on TikTok with no intention of really doing it. We occasionally throw the odd video over there, like make a YouTube short and we'll dump it there as well, but not our big plan. Ishibusa, do you think an associate? I don't know what that means, so we'll see if we can answer that one later. As a business, how do you judge when to make content for a wider audience? For example, Automation Expert rates Boba Robot, wider audience, versus how to maintain your robot, targeted at CEOs. So again, depends on the size of your channel. Like I assume we're talking about YouTube here. If so, just let me know. I mean, can I pull it up? I'm not sure I can pull it up from the software I'm using, but regardless, like you can do a lot of damage by being small and focused on a highly targeted market of buyers. For example, in the early days of my social media presence, YouTube presence, the audience was significantly smaller, right? Like it just grows over time. But the revenue wasn't too shabby. It still made a lot of money. And it was because the services that I was providing to the people that I was providing them to were high value, in demand. I was good at them. So everything lined up. If I broadened my message and just started making all kinds of general content, I wouldn't have been able to attract that same core audience because they would have seen a video on, like, for example, I think I've got one on the channel maybe it was last week. It was like top 10 side hustles to work from home. That is aimed at someone who's looking at starting a new business, right? Starting a new side hustle. Very different audience than someone that's been in business for any length of time, has employees and cash flow problems and all of that. I shouldn't have made that video 10 years ago because it wasn't my people, wasn't who I was trying to serve. But now that the business has changed and evolved and grown, it very much is my people. I want to help people start and grow businesses. That's my audience. So I make content to help people start and grow businesses. That's it. So if you can make content around content that helps people start and grow robots, I don't know, fix robots, maintain robots, things like that, I think you're still safe. It's still in the same niche and wheelhouse. But I would focus like 70 to 80% of my content around the people that I want to have. And then 20 to 30% around the people that I'm sort of building into. Aaron Elliott, yo, Mr. E, you're a Mr. E too. Yes, you are. Starting a club. Hey, you're not just a Mr. E, you're an AE too. Hey, Aaron Elliott, Adam Earhart. We'll start a club. Hey Adam, I'm making videos about oh yes, I answered this one. I think I answered this one right at the beginning, my friend. So I'll let you go back and watch that one over. But yes, that was the whole imposter syndrome rant. Abdallah, Adam, suppose I want 40 closed deals this year in my... We missed the rest of the question. We're going to need that for context. Jasmine, used your cold email template and it seemed really long, but I sent it anyway. Yeah. The advice I see elsewhere says to not make it more than a few lines. Obviously this for you. So why the long version? So cold email, tricky beast. The length of the cold email will vary and it's going to depend. So that video that I made was like a year ago, 2 years ago. So I might adjust it now, right? Maybe I'll make a follow-up to it. That's it. I'm still cool with it. The thing is like, are you just trying to get your email clicked? Are you trying to get it read? Are you trying to get someone to take action? Unless you have a truly irresistible hook that's like, hey, I'm going to give this thing for free. And even free is not the best hook. I don't want free stuff. I've got too much stuff. I don't need more stuff. Nothing free. So it's like, that's not even the best hook. The best hook is one that immediately solves a pain or a problem that somebody has and you're able to provide a solution. So yeah, it's a bit long. Try it out. See how it works. Try the other ones as well. It's like, with cold email, you should never just send like one template ever, because your market, your industry, your offer, your personality, all of those are going to be different and certain things are going to resonate with different people. The reason I didn't put like 10 templates in that video is because it would be obnoxiously long. So yes, try them all. Aaron, if you had to prognosticate, there's our word of the day, about how AI is going to, for lack of a better word, disrupt marketing and business, where should we place our concerns? I like this question. Where's my bear? Other bear. If I had to prognosticate, so if I had to expound on what AI is going to do and how's it going to sort of mess up our world and what's it going to do? Yeah, I've got some thoughts. I'm less of the tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorist than many of the people you'll see online. So I don't think that they're going to take over the world, Terminator 2 style, and do all that. That said, AI has been around for a long period of time. It's been doing stuff forever. Like most of the software on your computer that automates things and pulls up certain folders and files without you directly doing it is using some kind of algorithm or artificial intelligence. Basically, all of the algorithms that you see online that operate our social media platforms are artificial intelligence operated. The thing with, say, ChatGPT is that it's doing it in a natural language, which makes it look smarter than it actually is. So it's really just a glorified search engine that's grabbing things and putting them all together. But to us as humans who aren't very good at telling the difference between robots and people, it looks like a really sophisticated beast. So I'm not scared. I'm more excited. And the reason is because it's going to get rid of a lot of the grunt labor, manual tasks, stuff that I don't want to do. I don't think you should be doing anyway. The searching, the compiling, the putting things together. And it frees you up for creativity, to start connecting dots, to tell stories, to do other things that are interesting and unique. So where's the opportunity? I think in the future, the opportunity is around being creative, being strategic, learning the softwares, the ins and the outs of them and how to get them to do what you want. But at least for now, there's still going to be the need for a human element to oversee what they're doing and make sure that it's actually correct. It's the same thing that we don't have fully automated drones flying people from point A to point B. It's not like the technology doesn't exist. As anybody that's ever flown a plane or been on a plane and you take off, you almost engage autopilot right away. So it's like you take off, you engage autopilot, you program everything, the plane does its thing. You come down to land, you turn off autopilot and you land. In fact, some planes, You don't even turn off autopilot. You just let autopilot land. So the pilot is literally there to oversee the operation of the machine. And that's going to be needed for a while in case things go batty and crazy. And the pilot's like, whoa, machine's trying to kill us all. Let's not crash into the mountain. So exciting times ahead. Slavomir, good evening from Poland. Good evening, my friend. Good to see you. Here we go. The rest of the question. Ishibusa. How do you recommend marketing items that are essentially banned on every digital platform? I work in-house for a vape company and it is hard to work around. Yeah. I don't know. There's not much. So there's two things. Number one of which is like, first of all, there's lots of products, morals and ethics and all of that aside, there's lots of products that you're going to have trouble selling online because they're either banned or they're just tricky, or the language that you have to use. A lot of mental health stuff has the same issue as well because we can't just call somebody out directly. But anything around, say, vape or other tricky to market subjects, you can't sell it directly, nor should you. So we don't try to bypass it. What you can do is you can start looking for other areas of interest around around other interests. So someone that's interested in A, are they also interested in B or C? Because then we could talk about that. Do they have this kind of lifestyle? Do they follow this kind of person? Is there a celebrity or an advocate for this kind of thing? There's lots of ways to get around it. And to bring somebody into your world. But a big thing for me is I look at all of competitors in the space and what are they doing? Are they doing direct mail? Are they doing radio? Are they doing podcast spots? Always lots of opportunities if you're willing to think creatively. Here we go. Supposing I wanted to close 40 deals in my small construction business, what do I do when it comes to marketing and sales? You, my friend, we get to draw. You, my friend, need a funnel. And you need to do this. So let's do this now. And the math is the same. The concept is the same regardless of what you do or what business you're in. I just realized that's right over my face. Be nice and awkward. There we go. So here's what you got to do. Number one, you set a target. So we know that you want 40 deals at the end. Then what you have to do is you have to reverse engineer the process to figure out what needs to happen way down here. This is probably going to be either impressions or we could just say clicks. Then we've got to figure out what happens prior to that. So if we've got 40 closed deals, well, how many? We're going to say, I'll just call them sales to make it easy. So then, seeing as they are construction deals, you need to have a conversation with someone. These are not happening through a sales page, a lead magnet, or anything like that. So you need calls. And the question is, solve for X. It's very much algebra. How many calls do we need that are going to get us this many sales? And in order to generate that many calls, well, how many applications do we need? And in order to generate this many applications, I guess this is where we could use clicks. How many clicks are we going to need? And all of these start to filter over from one into another. And once you've got this number solved, everything becomes significantly easier because you know, hey, I need this many clicks in order to get this many applications. This many is going to solve for sales. Let's see if I can do this right. We'll just, we're going to say 100 clicks leads to 10 applications, leads to 5 calls, leads to 2 sales. Okay. Now we have conversion rate percentages between each one. So we know 100 clicks to 10 apps, we've got 10% click to app ratio. App to call ratio, we have 50%. Calls to sales ratio, I should have done an easier number, 2.5. You get half a call with someone. They hang up on you halfway through. Now we have 50%. Now look what happens. This is where things get exciting. Now we know, hey, if we've got these numbers, what do I need to do to get 40? Well, all we have to do is a little more math. What if we make this 1,000? Well, this becomes 100. This becomes 50. This becomes 25. And then I could make that 2,000, which becomes 200, which becomes 100, which becomes 50. And just like that, I'm not saying these are the numbers at all. You're going to have to generate your own numbers and figure out what those are. But just like that, I now know exactly what I need to do. Now, let's say that it cost me $2 a click. This is going to cost me $4,000. However, if it's generating me 50 sales and each sale is worth, I don't know what construction project. I mean, let's go conservative and say it's like $1,000. Well, you just made 50 grand. So you spent 4,000, you made 50K, you over 10x'd your ROI on this thing. Can we see this still? Yeah, we can. Here, hang on. Let me make sure. There we go. So that's essentially how we do it. We build out a marketing funnel. We reverse engineer the process. We fill in the numbers as we go, and we make a whole lot of money. That's really it. And then we figure out what is the max amount that I can pay per click, and we start finding different traffic sources where I'm able to acquire those clicks at that cost. If you are here now, which you are because you're watching this, or you're watching this in the replay, I would strongly suggest going back and watching that part over a couple times. Of everything that we've talked about today, and of all of the things that I've talked about and shared on this channel, that is perhaps one of the most important concepts in marketing. If I had to pick a secret that's allowed me to be as successful as I have, it's probably just that simple exercise of fleshing out the customer journey. This is a marketing funnel. Fleshing out the marketing funnel, figuring out the metrics and the KPIs, the key performance indicators that I need to achieve at each stage, and then filling in the numbers. The other side is that if I find that, say, my clicks to application rate is 10%, what do I need to do in order to boost that number up? Can I provide more of a follow-up sequence? Can I provide a call earlier? Maybe I eliminate the application. I put the call first, application after. There's all kinds of different things you can do. Very fancy, very exciting. Cool stuff. Okay, Dennis, love that response. Perfect. Thank you. That was for a previous one, but still will be good. Heidi, hey Adam, I started a new business software widget to make websites ADA compliant to avoid lawsuits. Was on receiving end of a shakedown letter, which led to this. Oof. Sorry to hear. No fun. How can I best utilize Facebook ads? The same way as with any other business. We basically need to identify, where's my cheat sheet? This thing, which is going to walk you through model, market, message, media, machine. Model being what's the business model that you're offering. So you do software widget to make websites ADA compliant. That's the model. Who's the market? There are people that have suffered through this or potentially could suffer through this. What's the message? Don't go through this. What's the media? We're using Facebook ads right now. What's the machine? The machine is pretty much the sales funnel that I just outlined, but it's going to be a little different based on however your client application intake is. That's it. Same almost with every business out there. The key though, and where most people are missing, is a really good understanding of who their ideal target market is. What are their pains, problems, fears, frustrations, wants, dreams, goals, desires. Jasmine, by the way, LA is cold. 60s. Aw. I was jealous, but I was still hoping you had better weather. I'd rather live vicariously. I'm sorry to hear that. That's like our weather here, further up the coast. Turf Nerd Lawn Care. Is there a way to get my YouTube channel to only show up for a local audience? There is not, but that's okay. That's fine. It doesn't matter if other people watch the videos. You might want to expand one day, and it also helps with a bit of social proof. That said, if you want to make sure that it's shown by a local audience, just make sure to use the local city in your titles and in your tags and in your description and talk about it in the video. And you'd be surprised. YouTube they'll do a pretty good job of making sure that that's where the bulk of your people show up. The other option you have is if you have a video that's really good, really compelling, drives people in, has high retention, you might consider running it as an ad. And if you run an ad as a YouTube video, then you can select the exact local targeting that you want. Whew. Okay, we're doing good. These are good questions, people. Thank you very much. Keep them coming. We're doing good here. We got about 8 minutes, and then I got a jet because we got a busy day ahead. Family stuff needs to be done. I don't have brand awareness, but believe there is a need for what I offer, not only to avoid lawsuits, but to participate in over $600 billion untapped market. Yeah, we don't need brand awareness. We need direct response marketing principles. Look at the book, Direct Response Marketing by Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy, Direct Response Marketing. Basically, look at all direct response marketing stuff, but start there. And it's going to present a very cool thing on how to do, hang on one sec, let me see. Direct Response Marketing, Dan Kennedy, 10 rules. I want to pull them up just because they're really good. Here we are. And I think they're worth talking about. So, here are the 10 direct response marketing rules. Make a mental note of the time on the clock because you're going to want to come back over this later. Number 1, there will always be an offer or offers. In other words, when we do direct response marketing, we don't just create content for content's sake. We make sure that we're providing a call to action for someone to take the next action. Rule number 2, there will be a reason to respond right now. Given the opportunity to take action today or someday further in the future, most people choose further in the future. As you probably already know, that means never. Number 3, you will give clear instructions on how to order. For example, click the button below this video, enter your name and email. We will email you immediately within 5 minutes. This form, you will click that. You will be taken to a site that looks like this. You will do this, da 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 da. Do not leave people to figure it out on their own. They will not. Rule number 4, there will be tracking, measurement, and accountability. If I had to pick another secret for my success in marketing, it would be an obnoxious adherence to this law. I track, measure, and hold marketing to a completely another level in regards to when I spend $1, I'm really sure what that dollar's doing. I'm either testing it and I'm happy to blow it, but if it's part of my campaign, I want more than $1 back, and I make sure to measure it. Number 5, only no-cost branding. We don't run brand awareness ads for the sake of just getting our name out there. That is garbage. Number 6, there will be follow-up. We know that it takes on average 7 touch points. It's probably closer to 14 or 21, depending on the price point of something that you sell, but you must have follow-up through email, through SMS, through retargeting ads. Once is never enough. What am I up to? 7, there will be strong copy. This means the words that you use, the way that you communicate it, is clear, concise, and compelling. Number 8, it will look like mail order advertising. This part I'm a little more flexible on because I like the message to be native to the platform that it's on, but those old mail order advertising, direct response sales letters, they worked, and they worked for a reason. I've got books and direct response mail order marketing on my bookshelf over there because it's amazing. Rule number 9, results rule, period. Yep, that's all that matters. What are the results that you're getting? If you're not getting results, it's not working. Number 10, you will be a tough-minded disciplinarian and put your business on a strict direct marketing diet. I'm a big fan of that. I think there's room for other stuff as well later. However, I think those rules are solid. They're important. They can help to make sure that you get the absolute best bang for your marketing buck, and they help you avoid doing things that are not going to drive the bottom line. All right. Mason, this might not be marketing, but what is your advice on follow-up? I'm in solar. I use Go High Level. I just don't know how often to follow up or what to follow up with. So first of all, Mason, you're free to ask any questions. If I'm not qualified to answer, I will let you know, but that is definitely a marketing question. You should use follow-up, and I talked about this earlier today, for as long or as often as is necessary. Different niches and different markets are going to tolerate and actually encourage different levels of marketing and follow-up. There's some niches I've done where we were literally able to email 1, 2, 3 times a day. Sounds insane. You tell anybody else that, they're like, I would unsubscribe immediately. I was like, that's cool, but you weren't in that niche. They wanted everything around it. It was just like this die-hard, hungry niche. So that's what we did. Other niches we do once or twice a week. And even that, we're kind of like treading on the limits because it's a long purchase cycle for something like solar. So I would do a pretty aggressive follow-up in the beginning, probably at least daily, multiple times, trying to be like SMS, maybe an email. Hey, do you need this? Do you need that? What about this? Can I have this? If they go cold, I'd space it out a bit. I'm not afraid to go, let a week go by, let another week go by, let another week go by. And then I'd probably put them on a slow drip where I was sending them something once every couple weeks. Just, hey, just making sure, did you get your solar things solved yet? You still have any questions? Well, we're here to help. Even that helps. All right, Heidi, how we doing? Oh, a few more minutes. All right. Hey, hang on. We got a cool one next. My father and mother and father, 10 million. What are you guys writing? 10,013,945 views. Congrats, Adam. This is yours. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Look at the support. So kind. So we just crossed 10 million views. Well, that's exciting. Not on this live. I don't know what we're up to here, but on the channel overall. So thank you, everyone, for being here and for all of your kind words and support and for making it be what it is. Heidi, only marketing asset I have right now is a landing page where someone can run a free scan on their website and have to give me email to get the full report, or split test is email first and I run the scan. Yeah, you can do both. I split test everything. So I could guess and be like, actually, I don't need to guess. I can tell you. It's like the lower the barrier to entry, the higher number of leads you're going to get, the lower quality of those leads. So I would run the split test and I would find out, am I willing to sacrifice quantity for quality? Do I want quality instead of quantity? Where am I able to do my follow-up later? If I have an amazing banger follow-up sequence, then I want quantity because I can fix them later. If my follow-up sequence is kind of lackluster, then I want quality because I need them to convert right away. Hey, I'm from Japan. Good to see you, my friend. How do you decide ideal customer avatar? That's a really good question. there's a couple things that I like here. Number one is there's an expression that says you are best able to serve the person that you once were. So for example, the reason I think, again, that I've been able to do what I do is that I create content for people who want to start or grow a business. I remember very vividly when I wanted to start and then grow my business. Very clearly. I remember the pains and the fears and the struggles, the nightmares, the 3 o'clock laying awake at night, the wondering how I was going to get cash flow. Should I hire? I can't afford to hire. What do I do? I remember all of those very clearly, not understanding marketing and what to do and what the right path was. So that's why I create content for that kind of person. So who are you? What is the problem that you solve? Barring that, you're going to have to do a little bit of digging into what you currently sell and who is best positioned to get the best value from it. There's a lot of people that you could sell something to. You want to find the people who have the highest need and are going to view it as the most important. I'm going to park that one for now just so we can answer one more, but I do have a video coming up on that shortly as well. So that should help. Okay, perfect. Message from the family. I've got a couple more minutes because it sounds like family plans got put on hold for a couple minutes so we can answer another one. All right. Let's see if I can find another one here. What is the right approach? Here we go. There we go. I'm going to head back. I got another one I want to answer right above this. We're going to hit this one first. What are your recommendations for SEO if you're not allowed to advertise your product on Google? Oh yeah, we already did answer this. Yeah, you can't advertise it on Google. You got to find other ways, but I answered that earlier. Ultimesh, what is the right approach to running ads for offline coaching class? Oh, I like this one. So I like running ads for offline businesses. I think it is the easiest of all of the things to run ads for. And the reason is because you're able to tap into two very cool things. The first of which is a diminished audience size. You're targeting a smaller local geographic area, which means immediately we're able to reach a higher level of saturation for less money. And number two is the element of specificity and relevance. For example, if you're in I don't know what city, we're going to say Chicago. Hey, Chicago, are you interested in XYZ? We have a course that's coming up right now and you can get in on it. That's kind of it. I mean, we could do better. That's a terrible ad, but it's like, that's basically my premise. Hey, Chicago, who's interested in coaching? Do you live in Chicago and you're interested in coaching? Dear fellow Chicagoan. I don't know what they call themselves, but that's it. And then I run ads and I would definitely be using all placements to start with Facebook. I'd run an image ad. Then once I had that up and running and I had decent copy, I'd probably use ChatGPT, especially if you're not a copywriter, to be like, write me a Facebook ad for a local coaching company that helps people do XYZ. Once that's done, then I would start looking into reels and stories and other placements. Okay. Diana, do you think gyms are a good niche for an SMMA or is it too saturated? Oh, good question. It is definitely saturated. I don't think it's too saturated if you're able to do it different/better. I don't think anything's too saturated if you're willing to do it different/better. So if you're able to put together a really good package and why are you doing what you do? For me, when it comes to SMMA, social media marketing agencies, for those not familiar, I used to say, hey, here's all the things that you could do. You could do content and management and creation. I'm changing my tune a little bit and it's simply because I think that I'm doing my best to put out as much content as I can to show people how to do this right. But my strongest belief is that the best value is going to be in lead gen and then lead conversions using Google ads and Facebook ads, putting someone into an SMS sequence and then having a conversation. So the reason I haven't talked about that as much is because I felt that the content out there that was showing people how to do that wasn't up to what I wanted to see. So I didn't have a good place to put people there, but now I'm trying to make more around it. So I'd like to drive you in that direction. If you're the person to get them leads that turn into conversations, yeah, it's not saturated at all. People are screaming for that. They're tired of SMMA people going out there and being like, we'll get you more likes and followers. I'm like, I can't feed your kids with followers. Black Girls Consult 2, thank you. That was super helpful. Oh, my pleasure. Excellent. It was a really good question. So it's fun to answer. Okay, let me see. Dragon, we have a lot of written testimonials, I'll assume. Okay. Let me see. Can I do one more? Amanda Zoto, I did some research on keywords, example, Google Keyword Planner, and for business, Amazon recommendations. How does Google know what you're possibly searching for? So they know everything. It's they just track by tracking everything. So they track you and everyone that you know and love, and their algorithm is very smart. And it's also good at not only tracking you and what you've done, but imagining that other people who have looked for this have also looked for this, so you might be interested as well. Okay, let me see. We'll do one more, and then we're gonna run for family time. Although it looks like plans have changed, but we're still gonna go do some stuff. I think we're gonna do some modeling clay with the kids today. Go destroy the kitchen. Let's see. This one looks good for anybody starting a business. So, Tennille, hello, Adam. I'm currently in the process of opening my own salon in a new state I moved to. What do you think about doing ads for a pre-launch? What are some good marketing strategies? Okay. So, yes, I'm actually a big fan of doing ads and all things for a pre-launch. And the reason is because you're able to take advantage of this like once in a business's lifetime hype and essentially an excuse to create marketing for the sake of marketing. So what I would do is yes, I would run ads, but I would also be tapping into my local newspaper. Ooh, shudders to say that, but they often offer free editorials and pieces on new businesses to the area and what's your story and what's this and that. You could offer to draft it up. You could offer to help them with it. So my newspaper, my local radio, I'd tap into and be like, hey, do you guys have a section for new businesses? Do you ever have people on to talk about it? I'd tap into those. Social media, look at like the local groups. If there's local like moms groups in your area or parents groups or family groups or whatever, try and join all the local communities and don't go in there and pitch and be like, I have a new thing, come see it. But be like, hey guys, I just moved. I'm new to the area. I moved here to open up a new salon. Just wanted to introduce myself and would love to stay in contact. And then a conversation will flow naturally and you can pitch your salon. As far as ads, yeah, I'd probably run Facebook ads and target my local area. And they would be pretty obvious of like, hey, new salon opening, come by for cake and cookies and coffee and cupcakes and whatever it is. And just make it an event for anybody to stop by, say hi, introduce themselves and get some cake. Shockingly effective strategy. Make a combination as well. Final point, make a combination of like text and images and videos and some casual, some slightly more polished, all from your phone is fine. The point is to put a face to it and to like introduce people to come down and say hi. Okay. That's it, folks. Well, thank you all as usual for being here. That was a good one. I really appreciated the questions. I think we got a couple solid nuggets out there. I'd highly recommend actually rewatching this one through, at least those sections. I'm going to try and make a mental note. Maybe I'll go back through and find where we talked about, say, that funnel. And there was another one that I thought was worth sort of doubling down on as well. But if you have any other further questions, you can leave them in the comments. And otherwise, we'll see you in the coming week. And also a new video coming out later this week. So with that said, have an amazing weekend, amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.